Now the principle of grammaticalized lexis. In the recent years, it has been recognized both that native speakers always have a huge stock of lexical chunks, and that these lexical chunks are vital for fluent speaking. Fluency does not depend so much on having a set of grammar rules, and as on having rapid access to a stock of chunks. It is our ability to use lexical phrases that helps us to speak with fluency. This prefabricated speech has both the advantages of more efficient retrieval and of permitting speakers and learners to direct their attention to the larger structure of the discourse, rather than keeping it narrowly focused on individual words as they are pronounced. The basic principle of lexical approach, then, is language is grammaticalized lexis, not lexicalized grammar. In other words, lexis is central in creating meaning. Grammar plays a subservient managerial role. If you expect this principle, then the logical implication is that we should spend more time helping learners develop their stock of phrases, and less time on grammatical structures. Now let's look at an example of lexical chunks or prefabricated speech in action. Chris, Carlos tells me Naomi fancies him. Ivor, it's just a figment of his imagination. According to the theory we have just outlined, it is not the case that Ivor has assessed figment and imagination from his vocabulary store and then accessed the structure to be plus adverb plus article plus noun of the possessive adjective plus noun from the grammar store. It is more likely that Ivor has accessed the whole chunk in one go. We have, in Peter's words, in addition to vocabulary and grammar stores, a phrasebook with grammatical notes. Probably the chunk is stored something like this. It is, or was, plus just or only, plus a figment of possessive plus imagination. Accessing, in effect, 8 words in one go allows me to speak fluently and to focus on other aspects of discourse. More comments about Carlos, for example. We can make 2 more points about this example. A number of friends and colleagues were asked to give an example of word figment. They all gave an example which corresponds to our chunk above. When asked to define the word figment, hardly anyone could do this accurately. This is an example of how native speakers routinely use chunks without analyzing the constituent parts. There is nothing intrinsically negative in the dictionary definition of the word figment, yet it is always, in my experience, used dismissively or derisively. This is an example of how we store information about a word, which goes beyond its simple meaning. Principle 2. Collocation in action. In an application from a candidate referred to a large theme in his thesis, this sounded ugly, but there is nothing intrinsically ugly about either word. It's just a strange combination of a native speaker ear in the lexical approach, insisting students to acceptable collocations is very important. So you might find this kind of task. Underline the word which does not collocate with theme. Main theme, large theme, important theme, central theme, or major theme. A second important aspect of lexical approach is that lexis and grammar are closely related.